Tonight, the number 1 and number 2 picks from the most recent rookie draft hit the field as the Dallas Lobos and the St. Louis Gladiators square off in Missouri for the right to go 1-0 in opening weekend. A pivotal game early in the season for two teams looking to turn it around. It's Dallas, it's St. Louis, and it's coming up next. Welcome into Budweiser Stadium. I am your play-by-play commentator, Cameron Irvine, alongside Andy Hamilton, Jeremy Vega on stats. How you doing tonight, Andy?
I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to quite the contest between these two teams, Cam. Both of them looking to rebound from seasons that were less than lackluster, to be honest. But both St. Louis and Dallas are prepared for season 12. Confidence is at an all-time high. New free agents have come on to both of these teams, and they are looking to make an impact quickly. Between these two, I think that both rosters have seen some turnover. For the Gladiators, Marquise Reed comes in along with some other good players, including Moody Mitchell, the first pick of the draft. On the Dallas side, they also have a new quarterback. Jacques Luyendula replaces Shabazz Synergy, who led Dallas in passing yards and touchdowns for a single season, setting a record last season. He got the boot. Luyendula is in, along with Tristan Carr, you see there, taking the coin toss now. These teams are really going to have to put up with, you know, these new players gelling together, Cam. It's going to be very interesting to see how these two get involved. and how these two teams match up, not only with the 2 rookie draft picks, as you talked about, but with the other players who are going to be new to the squads and to the coaching staffs as a whole.
So with that, St. Louis and Dallas, great stuff. Andy Hamilton live from SFL headquarters in St. Louis, Missouri. The Gladiators have the ball on the tee and kick it. We're underway. This is a very short kick to the 20. We've got a strong wind blowing in the face of St. Louis and at the back of Dallas here in the first quarter, as that is returned by Harold Miner. And we'll get our first look tonight at Jacques Ulundula.
Yeah, and great field position to start out with by Luyendula coming by way of Carolina, and then before that San Francisco, obviously, Cam. But he's got a great opportunity here to set up Dallas and this offensive unit with some good first drive points.
Jacques' pass on the first play is caught by Junior Senior the third, all the way down to the Gladiator 22-yard line. What a throw from Jacques. That's how you start a new chapter in a new city.
Yeah, talk about making an impact on the first play. Luyendula drops back, fires, and it's really the catch here, which is impressive. One-handed from Senior the third, who in the SFL all-time single-season record book, Cam, last season had 1,616 yards. That's good for 6th in the SFL all-time. Makes that catch there to set him up at the 22.
Both Andy Hamilton and I in the booth tonight, so let us know how the audio is, as it's a bit of a tricky setup when you're in some tight windows, tight spaces. 1st and 10 at the 22. Ulundula again, near side pass is caught by Junior Senior the third as he's wrestled down after a gain of about 4.5 on the play.
Yeah, talk about a tight window. That ball was thrown right into the throwing or the defending lane of the defender. Nice throw, nice catch though. Senior the third fights through the defense and makes the grab.
All right, 2nd down and 6 at the 17-yard line, and the handoff goes to Zach Sandlin, the number 2 pick in the draft, and Sandlin's got a 1st and goal for Dallas at the 7. What a start for the Lobos.
Yeah, I like what I see out of the rookie Cam. A lot of power here on this first carry. He just goes up the gut, and it was really an issue for the defenders trying to make the play. They really didn't have much to do because Sandlin just trucked him.
1st and goal at the 7. Some calling him the Sandman in the chat room. 71 viewers and counting here on Friday Night Lights. 1st and goal at the 7 for Dallas on their opening drive. Not even 2 minutes into the ball game. Ulundula with split backs, back to pass again. Ulundula deep ball to the end zone, knocked around and nearly intercepted. That pass batted away by Drew Riley, the new corner in St. Louis.
Riley is undrafted, 5'11", 220, but boy, was he all up in the air there to knock that one down, Cam. A nice floater from Luyendula, though. Pass just couldn't connect. They'll live to fight another day. It really was a good throw and a decision by the offensive coordinator to throw to the back of the end zone.
2nd and goal from the 7-yard line after the incompletion. 1st of the game for Ulundula. Back to throw again. Deep ball back in the end zone. Knocked away again. St. Louis's defense tightening up in the end zone as Mike Osai was the intended receiver. Colin Douglas in coverage.
Colin Douglas, the news breaking today, Cam, that this will be Douglas's last season with the Gladiators. He leads the team all time in pass defenses and interceptions. He buckles down there and makes the play to force this big 3rd and goal, which really could be pivotal in this early game.
3rd down and goal at the 7. 9:11 to go in the first quarter. No score. Ulundula's now empty with 4 receivers. Sandlin got 1 carry on the opening drive. Back to pass. Ulundula fires in zone again, and the pass is caught by Tristan Carr in the back of the end zone for a Dallas touchdown.
Wow, and they are going to have, I think they might take a look at this one, Cam. Carr was right on the back line. The guy coming over from London by way of Vancouver before that. Let's take a look here. Yep, definitely the feet inbounds. What a grab from the big tight end, and the first touchdown throw for Luyendula in the gray and gold.
And after a couple of really tough seasons in Dallas, both of these teams had a really tough 2018. Really, it was difficult for them to get going and get momentum going. Dallas got it at the end of the season last in season 11, but oh man, that's got to feel really good on the road to get an opening drive touchdown.
Yeah, and a smooth one too, Cam. It wasn't one where there were a lot of incompletions. The only 2 incompletions that Luyendula were throwing were in the goal line formations when the defense really didn't have as much field to defend. When they had the whole field to play with, Dallas really walked down the field here and did a great job on St. Louis. So really nice job by the Dallas offense on their first drive.
So the Lobos will kick it away now, up 7-0. And from the 6-yard line, this is the Gladiators on the return. That return by number 86, Jacob Swaim. And out comes the number 1 pick in the rookie draft, Moody Mitchell. And Xander Gold, actually, the interesting thing about it is that Xander Gold, last year's first overall pick, played against St. Louis in this game. And now St. Louis has a number 1 pick playing on Friday night. So 1st and 10 at the 27. We'll see what Mitchell has in store for us. 3 receivers, Diaz in the backfield. And Mitchell's pass is caught for a first down to the 42-yard line. That's Nick Finch, and let's take a look at the rest of the St. Louis offense.
Nice throw by Moody Mitchell. And then obviously looking down here, Denzel Diaz is the name you want to highlight when you discuss this offensive unit. Diaz led the team and actually leads St. Louis in single-season receptions with 109 last season. I'm going to look to get him involved early if I'm the offensive coordinator for the Glads. 1st
and 10 of the 42. 8.5 to go in the first. Back to pass. And a deep ball down the field. That's complete from Mitchell. Pass is caught by Cody Scott. And that's another St. Louis first down, and the Gladiators are looking sharp.
Yeah, first drive from Dallas had a tight end catch the touchdown. First drive from St. Louis, they say, hey, we got a tight end too. His name's Cody Scott, and he's going to beat Iverson Gamble here on the jump ball. Nice grab by Scott, and a good job by St. Louis to get their quarterback some good completions to start this drive. Maybe build the confidence a little bit.
Scott and Finch active. Badira Islani yet to make a catch, but very, very early as St. Louis's offense looking very effective. Pump fake. Mitchell got hit as he threw. The pass is underthrown and nearly intercepted by Kane Vasquez. Rukin applying pressure, and he's a new pickup for the Lobos in the offseason.
Yeah, Rukin went undrafted. On draft night, Shan Varner was trying to talk about how he could impact a team. Well, he's making an impact for Dallas here despite not getting selected. Nice pressure from him, nice deflection from Vasquez. Dallas's defense buckles down on the 3rd play, but only the first incompletion for Mitchell, who so far has looked lights out, but we still haven't seen Diaz at all, Cam.
No, 2nd and 10 for the 40. Lots of passing by both teams here early. They're going to bunch it up here and run Diaz to the outside left. Oh, he's quick and powerful. Denzel Diaz with a stiff arm, breaking a tackle. Diaz all the way down to the 10-yard line for a first down before Crash Combs brings him down.
And Denzel Diaz is one of the reasons that this St. Louis offense looks dangerous, because he not only can catch the ball, Cam, but he can run the ball as well. Really powerful move here to shake off 1 and then 2 tackles and fight down to the 10. And he's a really nice complement and change of pace when you talk about Mitchell and the throwing that he's been able to do so far tonight. Those 2 factors are really what St. Louis needs to harp on and play with if they're going to get this offense rolling and improved from the number 21 scoring offense last season.
Man, if these offenses keep going like this, Andy, we're going to have a long, fun night. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Already busting out of the gate, unlike Baltimore and Alaska, who took some time to feel each other out in the first half. Not here tonight in St. Louis. Mitchell going to throw to the outside, over the defender, but then dropped. That was... was not Ajlani on the outside. Instead, it was Tito Moss, and that one hurts Mitchell, his first incompletion.
Yeah, Moss 6'3", 212 was high. Tall. It was a high throw, though, which was a little difficult to come down with, and the defender was in the receiver's eye line in order to try and collect the ball. So it was a little bit difficult. Mitchell would have liked to have seen that one get completed, though.
So Mitchell's off to a 2-for-4 start. And on the 10-yard line, Mitchell's out of the gun, back to pass. Mitchell to the end zone. Touchdown, Tito Moss! And the Gladiators are 1 point away from tying it.
And that is how you make up for a dropped ball on the outside, Cam. Tito Moss able to haul it in for Moody Mitchell's first career touchdown pass in the SFL. Look at this, just a quick slant route. He comes unguarded. There's no one there. Dallas is sitting in a zone, and Moss is able to collect. And I tell you what, if you're a star quarterback, doesn't matter if it's a star player or not, a touchdown's a touchdown, and 6 is 6.
And how about the start for the number 1 pick? It took Xander Gold a little bit of time to get going in his rookie debut as New Orleans built that offense, but Mitchell wasting no time. And you mentioned the offensive struggles for St. Louis. The fact that on an opening drive they scored a touchdown, I'm sure will be memorable comparatively to last season. The extra point is good, and we're tied at 7.
Quite the drive from both teams to start out this game. Dallas moved down the field with relative ease, and I'll be honest, Cam, I was a little uneasy at the way they moved down the field, but St. Louis did the exact same thing. They had a big chunk play, whether it was a run or a throw from Diaz, and really now we see both of these offenses getting going, so now the question will be which defense makes the stand first. Texas
Cobra 99 with the 1,000 bits getting geared up for the SFL in Season 12. Another really short kick, and that came, we were talking about Mitchell, that came against the wind, with the wind in his face. A 6-play, 70-yard drive. Jeremy Vega holding down our stats alongside Andy Hamilton. I am Cameron Irvine, your crew tonight.
Yeah, the kicks will be interesting, especially once they flip field and Dallas has to then kick into that, because St. Louis then will have better field position. And in a game like this where both offenses are looking strong, it's really going to come down to who has the ball last.
Ulandula, we're only 3.5 minutes into this ball game here. Ulandula out of split backs. He's going to throw. And Ulandula going long. That pass is incomplete. Boy, Osai should have had that as an official falls over. And really good defense there right around the line of scrimmage on some bump and run coverage there.
The second time that Osai has been targeted in this game, and he hasn't had one completion, Cam, for the guy who, leads Dallas in single-season receiving yards and touchdowns, and his third all-time in single-season receiving yards. You'd imagine that he would have made one of those 2 catches by this point.
Yeah, Mike Osai starting a bit slow on the road here. 6 seasons in the SFL. Formerly with the Baltimore Crabs, but 3 now in Dallas and 2 in the backfield. Sandlin could get another opportunity here, and he will. 2nd and 10, handoff left side. Zach Sandlin with some great blocks, and Sandlin picks up 8 yards. Tackle made by Marquise Reed, the former Vancouver Legion.
Yeah, he actually outran the tackle, Benny Breckenridge. Had the one block, Cam, and if Breckenridge would have nailed that one might have been 6, because Sandlin definitely had the speed to beat the safety down the sideline.
The Moon King is now hosting us. Appreciate your support. 3rd down and 2. Ulandula in trouble, and he gets decked. Got rid of the ball just in time, but that's Zachary Bates coming in on a linebacker blitz to force the first punt of the night.
Cam, both these teams not only have a 1 and number 2 pick overall, but they also went back-to-back with number 16 and 17. Bates there making an impact. We've yet to see anything from Denzel Maverick of highlight, but Bates ends the drive there and gets St. Louis the stop on 4th and 2. That's really impressive, because Luyandula could have even scrambled for those 2 yards had the pressure not been so immense.
So low snap, but the punt is away from Dallas's Rock Vandenboom, and St. Louis returns up to the 22-yard line. The Simulation Football League is brought to you by APM Music, Production Music Library, and Custom Music House, by Bit Central, who presents Fuel, revolutionizing SFL media in 2019. Harry's Razors, all you need for a close, comfortable shave, and Matt Doyle Designs, the official design partner of the SFL. It's a 1st down and 10 at the 22, 6:48 to play in the first quarter. Tie game at 7 here in St. Louis. Moody Mitchell back out on the field. Look at the protection, and Mitchell lays it up for Scott, who collects it at the 44-yard line for a 1st down. Vasquez another tackle, too little too late.
Talk about putting it on a rope, Cam. This throw is an absolute rainbow across the middle. I don't know if you'll see anything more pretty. Vincent was kind of in coverage there, a little behind Scott. Mitchell identifies this and tosses a beautiful ball to Cody Scott to make his 2nd catch. 40 yards on the night, and we're not even out of the first quarter.
65 yards and a touchdown, 142.4 QBR, just 2 incompletions, and one of them wasn't even his fault. Diaz has gotten 1 carry for a whopping 30 yards. It was a monster carry down the left side. Mitchell going to throw again. Mitchell into Dallas territory, incomplete. And man, they are really going after Cain Vasquez like it's personal.
Yeah, and he made the play there, Cam. Vasquez has been targeted a couple of times in terms of who they're throwing against in coverage, but Vasquez gets the better of it there. He looked more like the receiver with the way he positioned himself in front of Cody Scott to make the play.
2nd down and 10 at the 44-yard line, 6:12 to go in the first quarter. St. Louis and Dallas all squared at 7. Ball on the right hash mark and a 4-3 defense. Back to pass. Mitchell against a 4-man rush. Mitchell gets plastered by Rukin, and that's an excellent play for the rookie. He has made 2 huge hits on the quarterback in the first frame.
Jugan Rukin and Denzel Maverick, the 2 rookies on that front line for Dallas, getting their job done. Rukin is the name that we're calling, but believe you me, Cam, Maverick is getting his work on that on that defensive line as well, which is really putting some pressure on Mitchell and is really, making the difference here. It's going to be 3rd down. We'll see if Mitchell can convert.
6:08 to go in the first quarter. Trips off the right side for Mitchell. Back to pass. Another good push by that Dallas front. And it gets to him again. It's Rukin. They're not getting sacks, but that Rukin ruined the entire drive for St. Louis, and Zarbowski will have to punt it away.
Great job by the Dallas front. Like you said, it's all pressure. And the other half of that, Cam, is you have to have the secondary that can lock down. Dallas has struggled a little bit with that so far, giving up 65 yards. But on that drive, they did just what they needed, both on the front and the back end, to force St. Louis to punt.
So Zaborowski punts it away with the left foot. Again, short kick to the 30. That has got to be a blistering wind in the face of St. Louis, as that return is by Mason Kirby. So with that, we welcome you into the broadcast booth. Andy Hamilton, Cameron Irvine with you here tonight. It's nice to have somebody in the at SFL headquarters here.
Give you a pat on the shoulder.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So we're having a lot of fun here tonight, and we'll be in, I believe, Mexico City, or is that game in Carolina? I have to double check our schedule. But anyway, we'll be in the booth for the Aztecs and the Skyhawks Sunday night, so make sure you check that out along with the rest of the SFL action this weekend as Zach Sandlin takes the handoff and picks up 7.
Great run by Sandlin. Again, anytime you can pick up 7 yards on a carry, you're doing good things. I mean, really, you only need 4, so when you get 3 more than that, Sandlin definitely doing his job as the number 2 pick in the draft and trying to outplay Moody Mitchell, who so far tonight is throwing into the wind.
2nd down and 3 at the 42, and Sandlin off to a strong start. 3 carries, 25 yards for the rookie, as Ulandula will fire over the middle. That pass is complete, and that is a big tight end. That is big Mark Meadowlark with the catch, 6'7", 260.
So far, it's been a battle of tight ends, Cam, whether it's Cody Scott or Tristan Carr, and now Meadowlark getting into the action.
C. Pundy says Cam and Andy aren't actually in the same room. That was just some very coordinated split screen action. How's that for split screen? 1st and 10 of the 47, 5 receivers. You didn't know what I was going to do there.
No, I had no idea.
Ulandula back to pass against a blitz. Got rid of it just in time, and Osai makes a catch on the sideline for a 4-yard pickup. Man, they were bringing the house on that one.
Yeah, and I got a nickname for Mr. Osai, Cam. It's Mr. Out Route, because he is the one of the best out route receivers in the game so far, and he does a great job there of making that out route catch. And can we talk about Luyendula in the backside throw for a minute? That was a little impressive.
Yeah, 5 for 9, 70 yards, but looks very comfortable here tonight in his first game with the Lobos, and that was a very nice throw under duress. 2nd down and 6, stepping up into the pocket. Ulandula, a bit of a wobbler, but got it away, and instead of taking off and running, hits Osai, trying to get Mike Osai's confidence back up. Now 2 catches, 4 targets, 3rd and inches.
2 catches, only 10 yards, but really impressive there by Luyendula to climb the pocket once the pressure started to get to him. We've seen this pressure from St. Louis starting to mount on the front, so Luyendula is really handling it well in comparison to what you would imagine for a quarterback in a new system.
Ulandula going to throw it long on 3rd and inches, and Junior Senior the third makes the catch. And then right at the end of the play, Drew really is going to get called for a late hit. MeUndies laundry on the field. Oh, man, that hurts.
What a throw from Luyendula. He trusts Junior Senior the third. I don't know if they've been getting workouts in the offseason, but he just tossed that one up to the right and let Junior Senior the third go get it. Really on the penalty, I don't know, we'll get a second look at it here, but I don't know if I would have called that. It looks like he almost tripped over his legs more than he was trying to harm him. But look at the catch from Senior the third. Lays out, hauls it in, and then protects the ball as he knows the hit might be coming. Keeps it off the turf. Nice grab by him, and Dallas is in great field position here. Both off of Junior Senior the third. Big catches. He's having a night, Cam, closing in on 100 yards here before we're even out of the first frame.
It was that shoulder that he gave to him. A bit of a wrestling move there. Again, a heavy blitz, and caught in the back of the end zone, wide open. Junior Senior the third for a Dallas touchdown.
And Luyendula wastes no time going right back to senior the third again here on this play. And look, Cam, there's 3 guys over there, but no one's within 5 yards of him. Really nice find by Luyendula, and I don't know how you let junior senior the third get that open. St. Louis is going to have to discuss that on the sidelines because senior the third so far is having a really solid night. Him and Luyendula connecting for 85 yards and a touchdown on only 4 grabs.
Boy, Ethan Kai, the new head coach of St. Louis, he's got to like the way his offense is playing, but is probably not liking the way his defense is playing as Dallas now takes a 14-7 advantage. And we're in store for an exciting night, no doubt.
Yeah, with the way that these two offenses are playing, Dallas up 14-7, but 21 combined points here, still with 3:41 left to go in the first. Cam, I might need some heart medicine by the time this thing's over.
So Dallas will kick it away. And from the 7-yard line, St. Louis on the return up to the 26. MeUndies are the world's most comfortable underwear. Use the promo link in the scroll below, and I should say that link is unfortunately still not available, but we'll get it to you as soon as possible because a portion of your purchase supports the SFL. Give the gift of comfort with 100% satisfaction guarantee, free shipping and returns, signature soft and stretchy MeUndies, bringing you all of the laundry on the field tonight and throughout the season. 1st and 10 from the 26 for St. Louis. And Moody Mitchell back at it, and Mitchell quickly flips it outside. That's Badir Islani's first catch since coming over from Houston as a free agent. One of the biggest free agent signings in Gladiator history.
Yeah, a great grab by him to make the grab on the catch on the outside, for 4. Anytime you can pick up 4, you're on your pace to pick up the first down, and that's good by Mitchell to kind of calm himself down and hit Badir Ajlani and try and get these receivers involved a little bit more than we've seen so far. Only 1 catch for Finch and now 1 catch for Ajlani, but it's really been Cody Scott who they target.
Hand off Diaz, and Diaz running away from trouble, and trouble finds him. A gang tackle there in the backfield by Denzel Maverick and number 34 Tyler Rose.
Nice job by the Dallas defense to pursue there. Diaz able to make something out of nothing. It looked like he was going to lose 3 or 4, and he was able to collect a yard and get back to the 30. So nice job by him to kind of make something happen.
3rd and 6, Diaz again. Look at Diaz following the blocks, but he's not going to get there as Crash Combs makes the tackle. AJ today Jackson says, Cam makes me want to buy some MeUndies. I have reached a new life goal.
Well,
if I can put passion in people to go and buy socks and underwear, I've got a gift.
Well, you make me want to buy some MeUndies, Cam.
Don't say that sitting right next to me.
Well, say whatever I want.
St. Louis punts the ball back to Dallas as both defenses are tightening up just a little bit as the quarter ends. Fair catch call for at the 39. Going to be interesting to see when we flip the field in the second quarter whether or not Dallas is struggling as much.
Yeah.
Getting that ball into the air as St. Louis is.
Absolutely, because St. Louis really has kind of dealt with Dallas having good field position. And so now that it's 14-7, Dallas, still has 1 more drive here going down, starting at the 39. So they really have the opportunity to take advantage of this field position. Once they flip, I can see St. Louis's offense having a bit of an advantage.
Hand off to Sandlin, and Sandlin dragging defenders, picks up 9 yards. That's now 4 carries for 34 yards for Sandlin. Both running backs have been outstanding tonight, and you almost wonder if the wind has helped Ulundula and this offense greatly with these 2 touchdowns in the first quarter.
Well, I don't know if it's helping Sandlin with the wind at his back while he's running, but boy, when you are 6'2" and 260 pounds, whether you're a rookie or not, it's going to take some big boys to bring you down, and Sandlin making them hurt here on the St. Louis front 7.
2nd and short, hand off Sandlin again, short side right, and what a hit by Drew, really. Sandlin gets the first down, but he gets his bell rung too at the St. Louis 49.
Well, I'm only 5'10", and when I played football, they told me if it's a guy bigger than you, never go high. Drew really did not listen to that advice at all, but it paid off as he rings the bell as Zach Sandlin.
It did pay off. 79 yards, 4 catches for junior senior the third. He's caught 2 deep balls and has been a threat to St. Louis all night. Ulundula again. Oh, what a move by Ulundula in the pocket. Finds the fullback who picks up 6 yards. That was an unbelievable play on the catch by Mo Motley.
Cam, I have never been watching a football game where I watched a quarterback 360 no-scope a pass to the outside, but Luyendula just 360 no-scope that throw to the fullback, and it worked beautifully. So Dallas may have found their man here if they can keep him involved in this offense, because boy, is he having a good night up over 100 yards.
Shane applying the pressure on Jacques, but that may be the first 6-yard gain in the top plays of the week. That was amazing as Zach Sandlin, for the first time tonight, is dropped for a loss. Nice play there by Bo Knowles at outside linebacker.
I think that's Beyonce's brother.
Really?
Probably not.
Oh, well, you had me going there. I was going to say maybe she's in the building.
But if any of you in the chat know a single lady, go ahead and have her give me... Oh. Not the time.
With that, that's the end of the first quarter here in St. Louis. And what a quarter it was. Dallas 14 and St. Louis 7. You're watching Friday Night Lights on the SFL Network on YouTube. Third and 6 at the 45. Ulendula going to throw out to his side. Fighting for the sticks, won't get there. Colin Douglas makes a tremendous tackle in the open field, and it's decision time for the Lobos.
Yeah, Douglas does a really good job of closing this down, and we switched the field too, Cam, which, you know, could have played into that. If Mitchell's throwing, or excuse me, if Luyendula's throwing into the wind, and he hasn't been all night, he's going to have to adjust, and it's going to take a second. But look out, the offense is still on the field.
Yeah, wind now in the face of Ulendula, and he drew an offsides. MeUndies Laundry in the field. St. Louis would have gotten the stop, but instead, the Lobos are going to get a first down. What a huge mistake.
We've seen it kill drives before, and we saw it continue a drive here. A nice job by Luyendula to get the hard count down and draw some of the Gladiators off sides. They have a lot of new players here in the front seven, new players on the defense in Zachary Bates and Drew Reilly, but also, you know, some guys who aren't as experienced on that defensive line maybe jump and keep this drive for Dallas going at the 35 in pivotal position nonetheless.
Chat shout-outs coming up and on the way. 10:02 to go in the first half. Pass is caught, but just a little 3-yard blip. Let us know how we're sounding. Andy Hamilton, Jeremy Vega, Cameron Irvine with you as Mike Osai makes that last catch.
And they're getting the ball out of Luyendula's hands really quick, Cam. I wonder if that's something they're going to continue, or if they're going to kind of drop back, because even the throws to Junior Senior the Third, which have been deep down the field, have been very quick throws that Senior the Third almost runs under and collects.
Ulendula, 11 of 15, a $122, 2 touchdowns already. Near side throw to Osai. Oh, look, he knew it. Was trying to stop on a dime, and my apologies. That pass is caught by, it was caught by Osai on the sideline as Ulendula looks on, but man, he almost turned the dime.
Yeah, and he was frustrated nonetheless that he could not get to the sticks because the defender was playing way off of him. And I wonder if the wind may have affected that throw and pulled it closer to the line of scrimmage than it should have been. We'll have to see here what they can do on 3rd and 7. Third
down for Ulendula, and he fires into traffic. There was a lot of traffic in there as Sneakers Alamo was coming across on a pattern, and it ends up 4th and 7 at the 32, and another decision they have to make.
Alamo doesn't really get as much time in the practice field as much as some of these other star receivers, so I wonder if maybe he ran the wrong route there, Cam, because it looked like 3 guys turned around right at the same time, and if they all would have put one hand together, maybe they would have caught that ball.
Well, and think about this, no long throws into the wind either from Ulendula on that drive, as we saw an immediate change in the way Dallas was attacking St. Louis there, as the Lobos will punt it away. This one even reached the 10, as that's high into the air. I thought they called for a fair catch, but no fair catch called, and getting eviscerated at the 14-yard line. That was Tito Moss, who had a death wish.
Well, hey, Moss grabbed another 4 yards out of it, I guess, but not really the great field position that St. Louis watched Dallas have in the first quarter. Now here in the second, they're going to start at their own 14. So interesting as they highlight Diaz here, whether he'll get some more carries. Got 3 for 35 so far tonight.
Moody Mitchell is under center. Optimus Dime GG asks, what did I miss? Well, you missed, oh boy, Kane Vasquez with a nice hit, pickup of 9 yards for Diaz. St. Louis, touchdown on their first drive, but punts on their last 2 with 4 and 3 plays respectively on the drive.
Nice carry here by Diaz before he got lit up. As such a small running back, he kind of hides behind these offensive linemen. It makes it really hard for the defense to identify which hole he's running through. So a nice job by Vasquez to line him up and just make the hit when he has the opportunity.
2nd and 1, 8:42 to go in the first half. Dallas has a 14-7 lead. This has been a compelling ball game here from Missouri. 2 teams that struggled for much of last season trying to get a pivotal Week 1 victory. Diaz not going to get to the sticks on a 2nd down and 1 as the Dallas Lobos make the stop. That's a combo tackle from Bones Malone Jr. and Nasi Mitchell.
Outside run. They were trying to get Diaz into some space, which is something that you and I talked about before the game, Cam, is something we'd like to see Diaz kind of do in this game, but he couldn't quite turn the corner. Now they're going to have to face 3rd and 2, and they're all spread out.
Mitchell's going empty here on a 3rd down and 2, and it's incomplete. Couldn't get the feed in was Scott, as a Lobo basically just gave up on the play in the flat, and Scott and a defender having words, and I don't think that's challengeable.
Yeah, he was way out of bounds on that one, and it was really unfortunate because, like you said, the defender kind of gave up. If Tristan Scott might have given him a hand and turned upfield, Mitchell might have been able to get a 7 or 8 yard throw out of that. Instead, it falls out of bounds, and there's really no opportunity here for St. Louis to do much. They just got to punt it away.
Coming into the night, the 131 people in the community that participated in Who You Got, 78-53 in favor of the Dallas Lobos on the road. And if you pick Dallas so far, you are right. And Ulandula back going into the wind at midfield.
Yeah, still good field position for Dallas despite the wind. It'll be interesting to see what Dallas kind of does with this, as they highlight Tristan Carr, only 1 catch, 7 yards with the touchdown. Hasn't seen much action other than that 1 throw.
Dallas 8 first downs in the first half. 1st and 10 from midfield. Straight back. Ulandula fires out of the fullback, and quickly getting there is Douglas. Colin Douglas, a very good tackler in the open field, and that picks up just 1 yard.
Douglas on his last season in St. Louis before retiring does a really good job of bringing down the fullback. And I watched a documentary, Cam, of Ray Lewis in Baltimore when they were making their run to the championship, and him saying that he was going to retire after the season kind of propelled them. I wonder if Colin Douglas saying that before this season kind of pushes the Gladiators to that next level this year.
2nd and 9 at midfield, and the pass is caught by Sandlin. Sandlin picks up 4, so back-to-back throws into the flats, again against the wind, really on the tackle, but it's been really fascinating seeing how the game plan has kind of shifted here for both sides.
Yeah, they've kind of adjusted what and where they throw the ball, and I don't know if those deep routes aren't in it or if they're just not getting called because of how much wind is going on here in St. Louis. We'll have to see as the game progresses.
3rd and 5 at the 45. They're 2 of 6 on 3rd down conversions, and Ulandula is now 3 of 7. Carr gets his legs taken out from under him by Ethan Kai, but Carr is fired up down the field.
Well, Tristan Carr is one of the players in the SFL that you wish would get a little more activity on the field, because in the chat he's a great character, but there he gets a nice grab, and it really was the throw from Luyendula that made it happen, Cam, because it was on a dime and it was right through a lot of different defenders into traffic, but Carr hauls it in and puts it at the 32 for a first down.
Ulandula, 3-step drop, throwing again, and he got nailed in the backfield. That was Shane Masters, and that was a powerful hit. That's a hit you don't see in the NFL anymore.
No, Masters comes, that definitely would have been roughing the passer if it was in the SFL.
2nd down and 10 at the 32, 6:23 to go in the first half. 14-7, Dallas on top of St. Louis. Just inside field goal range, handoff Sandlin trying to follow a block, just did not develop. Loss of 1, really is in the backfield. Again, he's having a nice opening night.
Yeah, great night so far for Drew, really. 1 deflection already, now the tackle for loss. But when you look at Sandlin and his build and how he's built as a human being, Cam, 6'2", 260, not the type of running back you'd expect to go outside of the tackle. You'd usually want him to run up the gut.
Now it's 3rd and long for Ulandula, and he's going to have to air it out down the field. Deep drop. Ulandula looking for somebody open. Pass is underthrown and nearly intercepted. And Mike Osai was the target, who now has just 4 catches on 8 targets, and I believe that was Ethan Kai in coverage. We'll get a better look here.
Coming here, 32. That is Marquise Reed coming over from Vancouver. And Cam, I tell you what, he had quite a few interceptions in Vancouver last season. Almost got one there for the Gladiators.
And Dallas, knowing that the wind is in their face, are just going to punt the football away. And they were right about this area on their last possession. 8 plays, 23 yards that ended in a punt. This was 6 plays, 17 yards that'll end in a punt, but this one bounces inside the 10. Down to the 4, down to the 3, sliding to make the play. The big fella. Was that the big fella that just made that play right there?
I think 42 got his hands on it, but
he's
Big
so
Boy was
selfish.
right there.
He's so selfish. He should have definitely. That was Truckee Steck. What a selfish play. Let the big fella go and get it. Oh, that's just wrong.
Willie Dupree was the one who made the play. 6'2", 215. Gets down there. I agree with you, Cam. I would have liked to see the big guy make the play, though. You got to give these guys some shine when they have their opportunity.
Yeah, Willie Dupree down there had it flip-flopped there for a little bit, so my fault. 14-7 now. St. Louis pinned inside their own 5-yard line. Mitchell going to throw. Mitchell in trouble. Passes almost taken back the other way. Crash Combs was in coverage on Nick Finch. That was very dangerous.
Yeah, and if I'm St. Louis, maybe call a timeout and say to Mitchell, look, not back shoulder and not late, whatever you do. And maybe we're on our own 4 too, so throw it a little bit quicker if you got the chance. Thanks.
Unafraid rookie, man. Unafraid rookie. Unbelievable. Tight set here on 2nd and 10 for the 4. I think St. Louis's coaching staff has seen enough of that down in their own goal line. Now they're going to throw out of this formation, and Mitchell has Diaz in the open field, and Diaz is going to collect nearly a 1st down. Man, he's fast. Crash Combs and Iverson Gamble making the tackle.
And that's why he's the X factor, Cam. Denzel Diaz, 109 receptions last season, leads St. Louis in single season receptions. He makes 1 here, and we talked about getting him outside with the ball gives him the opportunity to use that speed, usually matched up against a linebacker in single coverage. That opportunity was good. Diaz made the most of it. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go back to it sooner rather than later.
3rd and short, 5:20 to go in the first half. A first half that's flying by. Mitchell is 6 of 13 for 79 yards, but Diaz now has 53 all-purpose yards in the first half. 3rd down and very short. Handoff Diaz. Pounded up the middle. Diaz got a nice block, and Diaz gets to the 23-yard line.
Great run by Diaz. 51 yards on the night. That one was really solid, especially with the blocking he got. Look at this. Great block inside. Fullback comes up. Truckee Steck makes a block. Gets another one there and just plows through a tackle and is able to fight. Diaz doing everything he can tonight.
That's the ever-scroll block of the game as it gets St. Louis a 1st down. Visit movementwatches.com for more information. 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line, and Mitchell stepping up in the pocket, avoiding a sack. Mitchell hit as he threw and still got the ball away as Denzel Maverick was coming in hot, and I have not seen better quarterback play under duress in terms of getting rid of the ball and not taking a sack as I have in the first half between these two quarterbacks.
Yeah, Mitchell looked like a cake, Cam, that I had made because he was just painted with Dallas defenders like I paint that cake in icing. But he was still able to dump that ball off and avoid the sack and live to see this 2nd and 10.
Base Scout wanted intentional grounding there in the chat, and that's pretty debatable as Mitchell on 2nd down and 10. That pass is incomplete. Finch had to come back for it and dropped it. It's 3rd down and 10, and St. Louis is trying to avoid their 4th consecutive drive with a punt. They are 0 for 5 on 3rd down tonight.
For Nick Finch, I understand that, Cam. His legs were on a different brainwave than his arms were. His arms were able to catch the ball, but his legs were just all over the place, couldn't haul it in. I've been there before. I understand it's difficult.
3rd and 10 at the 23. 5 receivers now for Mitchell. Into the wind, or with the wind at his back, I should say. Mitchell's pass. Oh, what a move by Ashlani! 1st down to the St. Louis 48-yard line, and it moves the chains for the Gladiators. Unbelievable.
Well, put him in the washer, Cam. It's spin cycle time, and Ajlani does his work here. Nice little slant route, and then look at this. Whop! Gets right by him to the outside, and Vasquez was the last man who was able to de-head him before the end zone was in sight. Great job by Ajlani. What a move.
Man, Combs rather, nearly had the interception on that play, but Mitchell, what a dart over the middle. Just 7 of 16. Obviously, the percentage not that great, but they have not been afraid, St. Louis, and they have tallied over 130 yards of offense here in the first half. Hand off to Diaz. Diaz running right, and Diaz picks up 3. Everscroll by movement blocks blue light to protect your eyes from digital screens. Don't hurt your eyes by checking out SFL action. Protect them and see every moment by using the promo link in the scroll below. A portion of your purchase supports the SFL movement. Premium watches, sunglasses, and accessories, and that promo code for movement is Simulation FL when you buy your next pair of glasses or watches, as 3rd and 7 is coming for St. Louis after the incompletion.
I was looking at some of those watches online before I got down here, Cam. My goodness, they are beautiful.
They're gorgeous. One of them was just there on the bottom of the screen, and they'll be reminding you it's game time all season long, as well as this is drive number 5 for St. Louis. This is the 9th play of the drive. They've converted 2 previous 3rd downs on this drive alone. Their first 3rd down conversions of the game. 3rd and 7 for Mitchell out of the empty. Mitchell has been strong in this formation tonight. Lofts one to the far sideline and put too much air on it. Finch out of bounds, maybe a challenge here.
I would think about it. That was a nice throw to the backside, a real rainbow like we've seen Mitchell throw all night, and it was close. I'll be honest with you. It looked real close. Dallas fans shouting out in the chat, but I'm not so sure.
So, no challenge. I'm a bit surprised. All 3 timeouts, 3:27 to go in the first half on a 3rd down play. Oh man, they almost blocked that. I don't know how Dallas did not block that from the 15-yard line on the return of the 19, but for Mason Kirby. But wow, they got close to Zabrowski's kick.
Well, and if that one would have been blocked, St. Louis would have been reliving not challenging that throw for almost the rest of the night. And at midfield, nonetheless, would have been an opportunity to continue this drive and maybe put some points on the board. Instead, Dallas takes over at the 19. You trust the defense that got him off the field on the last drive, only giving up 17 yards before the punt.
First down to the 19, 3:19 to go in the first half. Dallas is up 14-7. Ulandula back to pass. Dumps it off to Sandlin on a check down, and Sandlin is met at the line of scrimmage. I thought he had some room there, and Ethan Kai shut it down.
That's a lot of man to get moving quickly, Cam. I've almost seen Dallas do more of the checkdowns and the throw outsides than I've seen St. Louis, and you'd almost flip those 2 game plans if you were planning to have a bigger back versus a smaller back. Interesting to see here Dallas's game plan.
Hand off Sandlin. Sandlin only got a yard, and St. Louis has been a lot tougher on him here in the second quarter. Just 8 carries for 34 yards for Sandlin after he really ran all over him in the first.
Yeah, and the crowd's starting to enjoy this game here. Maybe down by 7, but on 3rd and 9, the defense chant going around here at the stadium.
I hope Jeremy Vegas starts doing stats for Denver games, because he is outstanding.
Yeah, and we need more stats people in general.
We do. Ulandula to throw on 3rd down and 9. Avoided a sack. Ulandula's hit from behind, a loss of 4 yards, and St. Louis's defense will get off the field. That is a sack from Scott Underwood at defensive end.
Yeah, nice job there by Underwood. Coming up, the second level of pressure is what gets to Luyendula as he avoids the first hit, but not the second.
We've reached the 2-minute warning, the Quip 2-minute warning. This is the Simulation Football League on Twitch, presented by APM Music. All right, Lobos having to punt into the wind. Pretty good kick there to the 48-yard line, and St. Louis will start in Dallas territory with 3 timeouts in the minute 52, down 7. They've punted 4 straight possessions, but that last drive, one of their better of the night, 45 yards, 9 plays, and really should have had another first down if Mitchell just zipped that one in a little bit more.
Mitchell replacing Dylan Aseel, who had 3,144 yards, which leads St. Louis in a single season record, and now he's got to execute a 2-minute drive for an offense that he is very new to.
Wind at the back of Mitchell, back to pass. Mitchell deep down the middle of the field. It's caught again at the 28-yard line by Cody Scott. Is this guy clutch or what?
Well, I mean, hey, you might not know the offense, so hey, why take all 2 minutes? Let's just heave one down the field to big old Cody Scott, who goes up and collects that third catch of the day. He's more like a center collecting rebounds than he is a tight end.
59 yards on 3 catches for Scott. Diaz is blown up by Denzel Maverick, the 17th pick in the draft, and he's all sorts of fired up.
There it is, Maverick. We've seen him all night apply pressure, but hasn't been the guy to get the hit. There applies the hit on Diaz, keeps this clock rolling. Interesting move from St. Louis, all 3 timeouts, Cam, but you don't have unlimited time.
1:03 to go. We'll see what they do here on 2nd and 11. Moody's going to throw. Mitchell down the field, knocked away. Really nice coverage in the open field by Malone Jr., and it's 3rd and long coming up.
3rd and 11, now time for Mitchell to figure out what they want to run. If I'm Dallas, I'm highlighting Cody Scott with a yellow, a red, and a pink highlighter because there's only one guy who has more than 2 catches, and it's Cody Scott, and only one guy who's over 30 yards, and it's Cody Scott.
3rd down and 11. Jeremy Vega, Andy Hamilton, Cameron Irvine here with you this evening in St. Louis at the 29-yard line of Dallas. Mitchell wide open. It's caught by Moss at the 11, running no huddle now.
What a throw and catch. Moss has been big when they needed him. The 1 touchdown catch on the opening drive, and then that catch there to keep this one alive.
Now Mitchell out of the empty. Sidearm throw middle. Caught at the 3, and a timeout for St. Louis with 37 seconds to go. That is number 89 on the reception, Leonardo Short.
What a grab there, but the throw is impressive. A sidearm throw, you don't often see that from a rookie. Usually they try and stay in the motion, but really was able to move out of it and throw it sideways and get the ball to who he needed to. From the 3 here, it'll be 2nd and 2. They can get the first down without getting in the end zone, and with 37 seconds, this is a great drive by Mitchell.
2nd and 2 at the 3. Mitchell trying to tie the game right before the half. Diaz in the backfield with a fullback blocking for him. Mitchell going to throw out to Diaz on a check down. Diaz, he's in some trouble. He made a man miss, and he scored! Unbelievable play by Diaz!
Wow, was able to get the corner. Look at this. There's 4 guys in front of him. He says, I'll beat you to that pylon right there, good sir. Touchdown, St. Louis.
Wow. That was amazing. And we are all tied up. I thought there was no way he's going to get there.
Oh,
no
I know.
way.
Talk about speed, right? He just finds the edge. And that's why you got to give him the ball in those situations, but in more situations. That's the 2nd time we've seen him on the outside catch the ball, and he's really been a weapon for St. Louis when they give it to him out there.
Extra point coming, and the extra point for St. Louis is up and good, and we are tied at 14 here in the first half. What a thrilling first half. And while we have a moment, let's take a look at the updated stats here. Ulandula, 16 of 23, 141 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Mitchell, 11 of 22, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. It's been a great night.
Yeah.
Diaz, 54 yards on 8 carries. Sandlin, 34 yards on 8 carries. And Diaz now has a receiving touchdown to go along with junior senior the 3rd and Tristan Carr. As the return by Kirby gets up to the 33, and actually that kick was short to Harold Miner, and Dallas will have 28 seconds and 3 timeouts to work with, and I doubt we see much here.
Especially against the wind. I was just going to say look out for junior senior the 3rd, but going into the wind, it was going to be hard. Luyendula would have to put quite a bit of zip behind these throws if they want to try and get something going. I honestly would just give Sandlin some runs to see, what he's got in the tank.
Ulandula gonna throw quickly outside. Osai got 2, stops the clock, but time more of a factor. 14 on 14. Chatting it up there is Lonnie and Osai going at it. Updated receiver numbers for Dallas.
And there's a 5th reception for Osai. He's leading the entire game in terms of receptions now after missing his first 2, but still only 20 yards. So not the biggest night for Osai, but we'll see if they continue to go to him here.
Staying aggressive is Ulandula with 25 seconds left. This would be his 25th pass of the night already. Ulandula's completion to the 42-yard line keeps the clock moving. Yeah, no timeout used. I think maybe third down. They don't want to give the ball back. But down to 12 seconds, Ulandula is in trouble, and he goes down for the sack. And that's why you don't take the timeout. Sacked by Shane Masters, and that is going to end the first half. First half stats and analysis right here, right now on Twitch. 206 to 185. St. Louis getting dominated in time of possession. It hasn't mattered. What do you think, Andy?
Well, I think for both teams, they're doing a really good job of executing on some of the plays that they've drawn up. For Dallas, it's really been the big play, whether it was the big throw to junior senior, the third, or, a touchdown catch by Christian Carr. They got things done. On the St. Louis side, it's really kind of been the unsung heroes for them. Tito Moss has been having quite the game, as well as Cody Scott, who we don't usually have big games from, who really have been getting things going. But I think the highlight for me in terms of a halftime is that both teams have been clean on the turnover front. They've really protected the ball and done a good job of holding on when they need to.
Dallas scored 2 touchdowns on their first 3 possessions and then punted on their last 3. An 8-play, 23-yard drive, a 6-play, 17-yard drive, and a quick 3 and out for the Lobos, not counting the end of the first half, which I guess you can, as the half ran out, and it would have been a 3 and out there as well. On the flip side, for St. Louis, they get a touchdown at the beginning and end of the half. That's got to make them feel really good.
Absolutely. You always like to finish the way you start, and I'm sure they would like some touchdowns in the middle there too, Cam, but they'll take what they can get. And man, I still am just blown away by that Diaz run to the edge right at the goal line. I mean, that was superb.
What I'm blown away with is the quality of football that we've gotten out of both of these teams, who were considered coming into the season as somebody quote-unquote easy on the schedule. We have seen no sort of rust or poor play from either one of these teams. They have put on an awesome show so far.
Yeah, all fight from both of these units, and you love to see it, not only for both of these teams, but also for the owners and the coaches involved in this one as well. Competitive games are what get teams and fan bases fired up, and boy, do we have a competitive game here in St. Louis.
Start of the third. Dallas will kick off to St. Louis after electing to receive that first half kickoff. And from the 5-yard line, St. Louis will return, and that's swaying out to the 26-yard line. What'd you think of Dallas's choice? They wanted the ball tonight first. They wanted to go out and get it, and they got it with a touchdown on their opening drive.
Yeah, and that's great. 6 plays, 65 yards for the touchdown. Both times that they've scored, they've drove 65 yards, but in terms of the decision to take the ball first, I think it's a toss-up. If you trust your offense, go get the ball and take the lead. Dallas did that. Now they're relying on their defense to keep it up here after the break.
See if Mitchell can do the same, now going against the wind. Deep ball. Oh, it's caught by Cody Scott on the first play of the second half, all the way down to the 24-yard line.
Great Scott, Marty's down to the 24. What a run after the catch. Look at this. The big boy can rebound when it's high, and he can run once he's got the ball in his hands. He pulls Rose in coverage and makes the grab and is just almost gone. Gamble and Vasquez just have enough juice in the tank to haul him down. But, boy, you got to love that if you're an offensive coordinator for St. Louis.
81 people watching right now, and for those that aren't, they're missing one heck of just an exciting contest. Yes, sometimes you have close games, and there's kind of a lot of lulls. Not tonight, man. It's been entertaining from the jump. Diaz, we know of his speed as he picks up just 2. And I think he was just trying to challenge Dallas on that, because he could have easily taken that outside.
Yeah, I mean, and the guy's got a lot of agility to kind of move those feet quickly and get where he needs to. He takes on the linebacker there, actually plowed through one pretty solidly. And right now, you don't need too many big plays in a row.
2nd and 8 from the 22. Sorry if you lost us there for just a second. Diaz gets away from one, and then another one. Touchdown, St. Louis. Unbelievable play from Denzel Diaz.
Unbelievable. Diaz does just what we talked about, Cam. Gets outside, gets the edge, and is able to find his way into the end zone with an escort nonetheless. Nice run by Denzel to put 6 points on the board on the opening drive. Iverson Gamble can't make the play, and it's 6 for the Gladiators.
So both teams start either half with a touchdown run, and the Gladiators have the lead. And this is, man, what an exciting game. Diaz up to 75 yards on just 9 carries.
And he has been involved on both ends of the field, sorry, not both ends of the field, but he's been involved in the last 2 touchdown drives. Not only can run the ball, Cam, but can catch it too. 3 catches for 15 yards. Diaz is getting it done for the Gladiators, and Dallas has yet to find an answer.
You guys having fun out there? Oh my goodness, what an exciting ball game. We still got 2 more quarters of this.
And more this weekend.
Oh, man.
We're just getting rolling.
Oh, man, it's going to be so exciting. These first 2 games have been outstanding in their own ways. This game has been much different than last night. Look at that kick, only the 21-yard line. That wind is gusting, and Dallas has good starting field position at the 36. I don't think I've seen a more blustery night in one particular direction in the SFL.
Yeah, I bought a hot dog down at the concession stand, and it blew right out of the bun. Can you believe it? Didn't even have time to put the ketchup on it.
He broke me. 1st and 10 at the 36. 9:46 to go in the third, and that pass is complete to Mike Osai for a first down of the 49-yard line. You won't have a chance to go get another hot dog because we're not going to lose any action here tonight.
Well, I tell you what, if I did, it would probably be caught by Mike Osai if it blew out of the bun again, because he has been making grabs. After I called him out after he missed the first 2, he's done nothing but catch everyone but 1 ball thrown his way. He's only got 33 yards, but he has become Mr. Reliable for whoever is throwing the ball in Dallas, whether it's Luyendula or Shabazz Synergy.
9:20 to go in the third quarter. Dallas on the move again. Back and forth we go. Trying to make it 3 touchdowns in 8 drives. Junior Senior the third, who's gone a little quiet, picks up a 6-yard gain with 9:06 to go in the third.
Well, they got big play receiver and they got reliable receiver, and they don't mix there. And Junior Senior the third makes a reliable catch, but usually he's the big play guy for Luyendula.
Sports Fan 39 says, rip hot dog.
Trust me, I had a funeral.
The poor hot dog. 8:48 to go in the third quarter. 2nd down and 4. Luyendula out of the gun, back to pass. Fires near side. Caught by Junior Senior the third with room to run before Drew Riley lights out at the 31-yard line of the Gladiators.
Drew Riley has really been headhunting tonight, and I got to say, I love it. He's laying some big hits that's making some of these Dallas guys think twice about where they are on the field and whether they're on Riley's side or Douglas's side.
8:41 left in the third, and Dallas is on the move. I tell you what, both these teams, they don't look like they're going to blink, because even when their defense gives up a touchdown, those offenses are coming right back in attack mode. And that one a little bit over the head of Junior Senior the third, just a bit off target. The 8th incompletion for Luyendula tonight.
Yeah, and I'm sure when he's heading back to the huddle, Luyendula is going to be patting his chest saying, hey, my bad, buddy. That because he had him. He was open across the middle, just needed to hit on the throw, missed it, and so it'll bring up this 2nd and 10, but boy, was that close.
200 bits from R. Cochran. Where are our bits? To show us your biddies, man. My goodness.
Yeah.
2nd and 10 at the 31. Luyendula back to pass. And Luyendula finds an open receiver to move the chains. Junior Senior the third, that's the 12th. First down for Dallas, and Senior the third is over 100 yards.
Well, look at these St. Louis receivers, Cam. Not something we usually highlight, or the Dallas receivers, excuse me. Something we usually highlight with Dallas. But, they've also added the run game element, which is keeping St. Louis on their toes. You can't really defend just the pass.
First down to the 16-yard line. That Gladiator defense trying to toughen up in the red zone. Nobody has forced a field goal tonight. Oh, look at AJ Pick 6 waving a little hello with 200 bits. Appreciate your support. Luyendula dropping back to pass, going into the end zone. Knocked away, Oh, they could not come up with it. I can't believe Afalabi did not pick that off.
They had half their defense back there who got a hand on the ball at some point. No one could bring it in. Man, they are going to be hitting the jugs machine later after this week's over, but that was a chance there for St. Louis to really bust this game open up by 7. If they could have taken that one away, Dallas would have been scratching their heads a little bit.
Team pattern hitting, AJ pick 6, still waving hello. They are approaching stalker status, but we appreciate you. 2nd and 10 at the 16. Handoff to Sandlin on a draw. Oh, Sandlin got his head ripped off after a 6-yard run. Ethan Kai on the tackle at the 10.
Nice run by Sandlin, and like I said, the change of pace is really what's keeping Dallas not predictable in this game, and that's something we've seen from Dallas in the past is they've had a lot of throws and not a lot of runs to kind of keep the defense guessing, but here, boy, do they have both, and St. Louis is having a problem trying to stop them both.
Sandlin 41 yards on 9 carries, 3rd down, Ulandula, and I don't know where he was trying to hit junior senior the 3rd because Knowles was standing right in front of him. Now 7 receptions on just 13 targets.
Yeah, and I don't know what Bo Knowles was doing because put 2 hands up, catch the ball, buddy. He just patted it down there like it was his little cousin who just fell off the slide and hurt his head. He said it'll be all right, but he really probably should have caught that ball and ran it back the other way.
So for the first time tonight, we're going to end up seeing a kicker on the field. The kicker for Dallas is Manuel, and he will attempt a 27-yard field goal, the left-footed kicker from the right hash mark. A chance to cut the deficit to 4. The 27-yarder for Dallas is good, and the Lobos are down just 4. The Simulation Football League is presented by APM Music, Production Music Library, and Custom Music House, and also brought to you by MediaTek Institute, by Me Undies, the world's most comfortable underwear for men and women, by Movement, premium watches, sunglasses, and accessories, and by Quip, perfect oral care delivered. So from inside the 10, Swaim on the return, and he'll set the Gladiators up at the 27-yard line. Quick game reset, 21-17, St. Louis. Take it away, Andy.
Yeah, when you look down what these teams have done, St. Louis had success on their first drive, 70 yards and a Tito Moss touchdown. Struggled for 4 drives, doing nothing but punting, but the last 2 have been all Denzel Diaz, and they scored touchdowns on the last 2. If you're Dallas, you really have to challenge your defense here down to get the stop and force a punt in order to keep the offense in this game, despite only being in the 3rd frame.
Back to pass. Mitchell, check down Diaz. Diaz runs over a defender and picks up 3. And it's almost like he is looking for contact at this point.
Yeah, there's a couple things I would not want to be one-on-one with in the open field. A cheetah, a lion, maybe a bear, and Denzel Diaz are all part of that list. Because it's not just going to be a one-man to bring him down. There's going to be 3 or 4.
Just to clarify, the MeUndies promo code is the only one that unfortunately we do not have active yet. The promo codes for Movement and Harry's are Simulation FL, and then the link to support the SFL through Quip is down in the advertisement below, as that pass whacked away by Rose to force a 3rd down where St. Louis is 3 of 8.
Nice job there by Dallas on the defensive side. Now to force this 3rd down situation where St. Louis has had 9 attempts and only 3 conversions, so it'll be interesting to see what they do here.
This the 9th, 3rd down and 7. Mitchell to throw. Mitchell, and nearly picked off by Cain Vasquez as Coach Mullinex and his crew over there wave an incomplete pass, and St. Louis is going to have to punt it away. Their first punt since back-to-back touchdown drives.
Yeah, and that's great from the Lobos defense. Almost said it. I didn't, though. The Lobos defense gets off the field, and they'll get the ball back here in an interesting situation because I believe St. Louis is punting into the wind again, Cam, like they did in that first quarter, so it's going to be interesting to see here what kind of kick they get.
Kick is away and very short, so short that a fair catch is needed out of Kirby. Ball lands at the 42-yard line. Well, here in the SFL studio, Andy Hamilton and Cameron Irvine with you. Hello, and by the way, not Gladiator colors, it's just his alma mater. So.
There it is.
Yeah. You gotta mix it up.
Really showing off for that alma mater there by not knowing my left and rights.
Sandlin, 9 carries for 41 yards. A bit quiet tonight, but he gets his 10th here. Oh, Zach Sandlin hit high and hit low right at the line of scrimmage. They're going to give him a yard, but Shane Masters was all over that.
Yeah, stood up and dropped. The Gladiators were having absolutely none of that from the rookie. And for Dallas, I like the move going on run on first down to kind of make sure that St. Louis knows you're not just going to throw all the time, but really an interesting play there because St. Louis read it the whole way and was able to stop them.
2 backs and 2 receivers. This is Ulandula on 2nd down and 9. Fires it outside. That is a 6-yard pickup. And with that, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, #MakeAnImpact. And boy, somebody's been doing a really good job with that stuff, Andy.
Well, whoever he is deserves a new hot dog, in my opinion.
And now we have a challenge from Dallas. That's Harry's close call, close shave challenge. And they're challenging, I believe, that catch on the sideline.
Let's take a look here. It's an side catch, and it was close. I see a foot, but now we get back into that conversation, Cam. Is it 1? Is it 2 feet? We'll see what Ref 62 has to say.
Play stands. So St. Louis is going to be charged a timeout here. And that is not good for the Gladiators. They'll be down to 2. And it will bring up a 3rd and 3. Interesting use of a challenge there.
Yeah, and especially in this second half where that timeout might come in handy. I mean, we're early here in the 3rd quarter. There's still plenty of 4th quarter to go before, you're safe through this.
Sandlin not going to get there. 4th and 1 from midfield coming up. Decision time for Dallas. From shave sets to handles, Harry's provides quality craftsmanship made in Germany. More than 600 engineers, designers, craftsmen, and chemists make Harry's products from the finest materials and ingredients to ensure they perform as well as they possibly can. Use the promo link SimulationFL. A portion of your purchase supports the SFL with that promo link. Harry's, the official razor of the Simulation Football League. And I'm going to have to do some touch-up on mine because it's starting to look a little scraggly.
Well, I look beautiful, so...
Oh, really? Really? So did you tell yourself that?
I just did. You heard it.
Well, that's true. Touche.
What'd you call me?
I did. 5:11 to go in the 3rd. If you're wondering who your commentary crew is, it's kind of a shame after that
yeah,
that we put our real names up. Which I should have put up Stephen Mullinex, Mike Daggs, and
yeah, it's all Mike Daggs and Matt Wilson here tonight.
1st and 10 at the 17th. St. Louis has the ball and the lead here on Friday Night Lights. From the 17-yard line, Mitchell hit by Combs and nearly intercepted by Malone Jr. Crash Combs getting a hand on that football, and that is incompletion number 14 for Mitchell. Hasn't been the most efficient night, but no interceptions for Dallas, which was a problem in season 11.
Dallas brought the blitz there, and Mitchell adjusted and had to throw quickly, made a kind of an errant throw into coverage. I'd be interested to see if Dallas dials up that blitz again on a pivotal situation.
5:07 left to go in the 3rd. Ball at the 17. Mitchell. 3-step drop. Mitchell, quick slant. It's intercepted. There is a flag. Inside the 10. Crash Combs jumped in front of the route. MeUndies Laundry on the field. Let's get the call here because it came late. Could have come after the pick. And it's roughing the passer on Dallas, and that is going to get rid of the interception and get a 1st down for St. Louis at the 32-yard line.
Wow, unbelievable. If you are the Dallas Lobos.
It's on Rukin.
Yeah, and for everything that Rukin has done for you tonight, this could be the play.
Got him.
Oh, and it's low and it's late. And you can't even argue that that's a block because there's a full wrap up there. And I don't think Rukin even saw that the ball was away. As a new player, you can't necessarily blame him for that at all, Cam. But that is a turning point in this game.
Wow, that was really late. The ref has no choice there, and that wipes away a major mistake from Mitchell, and St. Louis gets a break. Flip out to Diaz, and Diaz left all alone by his blockers. Does he have some sort of insane death wish out there. He's telling his blockers, no, I don't want you. I want to take him head on.
Well, I think he said, 109 receptions in season 11, but it was too easy for me to get around the corner. I don't need any blockers. You just send me on my own.
That was definitely not the Everscroll block of the game. That was like some knockoff blue light protection glasses.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah, no. 2nd and 6 in the 37. Mama can't see. Mitchell back to pass. Floats one near side, and it's incomplete.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Hold on. I've seen a lot of passes on the sideline in my day, Cam, and that one looked in bounds to me.
And they just spent a challenge, and they're going to challenge it again.
I like it. I like the move. You can't be afraid of throwing the challenge flag just because you lost a timeout. You got to throw it here, and they do. And I would be absolutely astonished. Might fall out of my seat if this one gets overturned.
Let's see. This you couldn't ask for a more perfect pass there on the sideline. Finch.
Oh yeah.
It was a little closer.
It was closer than real time, but I think he was a good foot-long hot dog inbounds.
And it is complete, and St. Louis is not charged a timeout. They would have been down to 1 in a close game, and they obviously really felt good about throwing that challenge flag there.
Well, with only 1 timeout, you barely have time to pass out all the orange slices.
That was a close shave, close call. Harry's challenge there for the 2nd time here in the 3rd quarter. And St. Louis, boy, they just keep pressing the right buttons here on this drive. They're now in Dallas territory. Hand off to Sandlin, hand off to Diaz, and he won't go anywhere. 10 carries now for 73 yards.
Well, T-Pat says that St. Louis now has no challenges left throughout the rest of the contest, and we'll have to see. With Ref 62, that actually could play a factor.
No challenges left, and Maverick Legend says Oscar Mayer, next sponsor, #book it.
Hey, tweet them now. Tell them they need a Simulation FL sponsor.
2nd and 11, 3:53 to go, 3rd quarter. Mitchell going to audible. We haven't seen a lot of audibles out of either team tonight. Let's see what Mitchell tries to dial up. 3-step drop, fires it near side, caught by Finch, picked up a couple, makes it a 3rd and manageable.
And that was actually a really interesting play from Crash Combs, the cornerback in his 2nd year. 3rd year, excuse me. He actually pulled up and kind of moved into the field a little bit nervous of Denzel Diaz out of the backfield, and the throw just went right over his head. So Diaz obviously making an impact on this defense and how they play these receivers. An interesting job, but it looks like they're going to press here, Cam.
3:35 to go in the 3rd. Look at Mitchell again, man. He's feeling confident with a 4-point lead. He's got command of this offense. Mitchell going to throw. Mitchell stepping up in the pocket. He's in trouble. Mitchell avoids a sack and then runs right in to a defender. That is Nessie Mitchell making the sack for Dallas.
Yeah, Nessie on Moody. I don't think that they are related in any way, shape, or form, but boy, did they sure get close on that sack there. And Dallas went with some press. I don't think we've seen that tonight from Dallas. I think that was the first time, and it paid off for the Lobos getting out of that drive and forcing a punt from St. Louis.
So the Gladiators will have to punt it away. The left footer high into the air, and a fair catch again called for the 21 pretty quickly there by Kirby. Wind at the back of the Lobos. Both defenses settling a bit here in the 3rd quarter, but Mitchell's up to 229 passing yards in his debut. Scott's over 100 yards. Senior the 3rd is over 100 yards. And a sack for Masters. And I think Rukin picked up one as well. And we're seeing a lot of great stuff tonight as Kane Vasquez with 3 pass deflections tonight as well for the Lobos. Ulandula's got a first down of the 22. Pressure from the backside. It got tipped. Tipped by the defensive lineman in the backfield. Didn't get catch a number. And Afalabi almost had another interception.
He should have had that one. It was right in the breadbasket, Cam. Dropped right into his hands. Couldn't collect it. It was a wobbly throw from Luyandula as well. Not necessarily the beautiful ball we're used to seeing. Might have got tipped at the line. I didn't get to see.
I think his arm may have gotten hit, and that was actually Knowles there. Afalabi, you got to catch that, man.
Yeah, Knowles is having quite the night, though, for St. Louis, getting a lot of value out of someone who's a little bit underpaid. So very interesting to see how their defense is shaking out.
2nd down and 10, 2:50 to go in the 3rd. 21-17. St. Louis on top of Dallas. But Dallas driving down the field. Ulandula, what a play! That was an outstanding play by Zachary Bates in coverage, gets the knockaway and then the takedown on Tristan Carr.
Yeah, working on Carr, who's kind of gone silent.
He
Only
has.
the 2 catches now for 20 yards after that incompletion. The first time he hasn't caught a ball thrown his way, but great job by the rookie Zachary Bates, the number 16 overall pick, to make that play and knock it down at a pivotal point to force this 3rd and long.
It's one of the best defensive plays of the night. 3rd down and 10 for Ulandula. Back to throw. 4-man rush. Ulandula didn't have enough on it as that pass is knocked down by Douglas. And another 4th down for Dallas upcoming. That's back-to-back 3-and-outs for the Lobos.
This St. Louis defense has buckled down, only allowing the 3 points here in the second half, giving up 2 first-half touchdowns. Whatever was said in the locker room to this defense has rung home.
So the Lobos will punt it away for the 6th time tonight. And Jeremy Vega in the booth with us tonight on Live Stats is doing a phenomenal job keeping track of drive summaries tonight. I believe that's an SFL first. And from the 38-yard line, a decent return there from Moss up to the 43. Pickup of 5, and Moody Mitchell back in good field position. Already 31 passes tonight for Mitchell, 35 for Ulandula. Diaz has 10 runs, and Sandlin has 11.
Over 200 yards for Mitchell. It's a good opening night, but they're not done yet. They're only up by less than 1 touchdown, so you really got to continue to put your foot on the gas here and not be afraid.
Hand off Diaz, reversing field, and Diaz, a mess, loses 2 yards. And for the first time tonight, we mention E.K. Vinson, who comes in on the tackle, part of this much improved Dallas Lobos defense, but he's been pretty quiet tonight.
Yeah, Vincent directing Maverick and Rukin up front has really kind of had to take a leadership role on this defensive unit with West leaving in the offseason, but we see him there getting in the backfield, making a good play on Diaz, who is, sometimes feels like he's covered in oil.
Mitchell outside, Finch turned the corner, ran out of room, and runs into a teammate on the sideline. I believe that's the kicker, Graham Northrup. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 5 of the 48. St. Louis, remember, they were 0 for 5. Then they converted 3 straight 3rd downs, and they've been 0 for 3 since. Just 3 of 11 on 3rd down. Both teams have 12 first downs tonight.
Yeah, last drive had 7 plays and 16 yards. This will be the 3rd play of this drive. And again, they're spreading them out, Cam. And more press from Dallas. They got off the field with that last time. Let's see what happens here.
Single high safety, in trouble is Mitchell, and he takes a shoulder right into the chest from Denzel Maverick. 4th down.
And Maverick came free. I don't know what happened to this St. Louis offensive line. Look, he just jumps the gap and gets through, and it looks like they tried to double the end instead of covering Maverick on the middle, and he came free, and Mitchell had nothing to do but kind of fall on the ground and get out of the way. Denzel Maverick making an incredible play, and Dallas has another chance here to kind of cut into this lead. They've had their opportunities.
That's the 5th sack of this ball game between the 2 teams combined, and St. Louis now has had 3 straight punts. And remember, they're going into the wind tonight in the 3rd quarter. 13 plays, 15 yards for St. Louis's offense.
Yeah, not what you want out of the Gladiators offense, which ended the first half with 2 touchdown drives in a row and started the game with a touchdown drive. They have just struggled here in this second half. The defenses have buckled down, Cam, in consideration for what we had in the first half.
That most recent touchdown was the start of the second half, if you recall, as Sandlin picks up just 1 as Afalabi makes the tackle with 1 minute to go in the 3rd.
Afalabi, another great player that has been on this St. Louis Gladiators team for 2 seasons now. Came over from Chicago, and actually I believe he was in Mexico City before that. Kind of a journeyman here in the SFL, but is getting it done for the Gladiators. 8
catches, 136 yards for junior senior the 3rd. He is working the Gladiators defense. Ulandula changing the play on 2nd down and 9. Flips it outside. Fullback again. Wrestled down for nothing as Colin Douglas has been manning that Dallas Lobos sideline over there. 3rd and 9 coming up for the Lobos. Just 3 of 12 on 3rd down.
Yeah, and we talked about the tight ends early in the game, Cam. Cody Scott and Tristan Carr were involved early. Scott has continued to get the ball. Tristan Carr has felt silent. If I am Luyendula, I am making a point to try and seek him out, whether it's on this drive or the next one.
5 in the pattern as Luyendula throws it out to Senior the third, and he got the first down to the 44-yard line, turning the corner. What a play by Junior Senior the third as Afalabi stops the play.
Carrying defenders into first down territory. Nice job by Senior the third. Look, he's working with very little room there on the outside, but he's able to walk the tightrope and get to the chains.
And that should be the final play, and it is, of the third quarter. A fast-moving ball game here on Friday Night Lights. Are you not entertained? 21-17, St. Louis leads Dallas on the SFL Network on Twitch with 88 watching. Oh, we'll be in triple digits if it stays this close.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. This is going to get real interesting, especially if Dallas can push this drive where they want it to be.
Dallas could not take the lead with the wind at their back. Now driving into the wind, Luyendula fires it outside, caught by Osai. Osai with a spin move, first down to the St. Louis 40.
They might want to check that, Cam, and this is where it comes in. I don't think St. Louis can, but it looked to me like Osai might have had a foot out of bounds earlier than that, maybe 5 or 6 yards shorter than he actually got on the spin move. Let's take a look here. Right there, it looked like he was close, maybe not from that angle, but St. Louis can't even challenge it even if he was.
Yeah, they're out of it. 1 of 2 in the second half challenging plays. Luyendula getting that jersey dirty. First down to the Gladiator 40. 10.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Dallas and St. Louis here in week 1 trying to start 1-0. Start 2019 right. Handoff Sandlin around the left side. Got a couple of blocks. Sandlin got to break that tackle, but an excellent job in the open field by Reed to bring him down. 32-on-32 crime.
Marquise Reed, a former linebacker, converted to strong safety last season for Vancouver, makes a great play here on the outside, because if not, that rookie is running and he has, got a head of steam behind him, and that is not what you want when you got a big boy running down the field.
Sandlin now 52 yards on 13 carries, and Dallas is inching their way into field goal range. Conch Boogie, Maverick Legend, Swole 2011, Sport Fan 39, C Pundy, Drek 900, X the Brown Knight, X the Dead Knight 57. First down, Sandlin. As we continue shout out, Swole 2011. So many of you in SFL Nation watching tonight, and that is another Dallas first down, their 15th.
Nice job by Dallas. Move the chains, keep the drive going. You don't need to push down the field if you can just hit that yellow line each time. And while it's not on the field, mentally as a player, you know where it is.
Luyendula 26 of 39 for 258. First and 10 at the 28. Pass caught by Osai. Picks up 4 before he's run out of bounds. Running out to try to make a tackle. Gunnar Remington, the slot safety.
Mr. Outroute himself makes another grab, his 9th of the night, leading all receivers on both teams.
8 for Junior Senior the third. 4 for Scott and Finch, and 5 for Diaz, 22 yards and a touchdown. Second down and 6 at the 23. DT93 Skyhawk saying, this is a fantastic game. We could not agree with you more. Dallas trying to take the lead here in the fourth quarter. Handoff Sandlin. Sandlin powers his way for a first down to the 17 into the red zone. What a run from Zach.
And I don't say this often, Cam, but he reminds me of some of our better power backs we've seen in the SFL. Kind of almost like a running back I worked with a lot in Carolina, Johnny English. He just has that extra oomph when it comes to tackling him in the open field. It's a little bit harder, and he's very good after a hit.
Luyendula, pressure, end zone, incomplete, as Senior the third got crunched by Ethan Kai, and there was one other Gladiator in coverage.
I believe it was Drew Reilly. We'll have to see if they give us a replay, and it doesn't look like they will, but it was great coverage by St. Louis. Once they've been backed up against this end zone, they've really been able to lock down because they don't have to defend the deep ball as much, which Senior the third has burned them on before. This St. Louis defense gets locked down here in the red zone so far tonight.
Second down and 10 at the 17, 8:37 to go. Gladiators defense shifting around. Luyendula with pressure in his face, nearly sacked, and Sandlin dropped it with the defense bearing down. Third down and 10. Masters getting some more pressure.
And that's the trade-off you get when you have a power back, is they're not as good on the outside. They can't get their feet to move as quickly because they got a lot of weight that they have to move all at once. So I like the runs up the gut from Sandlin, but he hasn't been as efficient on the outside. Only 3 catches for 3 yards apiece.
56 plays for Dallas tonight to 43 for St. Louis. 3rd down and 10. Ulandula fires over the middle. That's caught short of the first down. What a first down saving tackle made by, that is Marquise Reed again making the play as Minor makes the catch.
Harold Minor the grab. It was real close. It looks like they are going to send out the kicking unit. I don't know if I agree with this one, Cam. 4th and inches. You got that big power back. Maybe give him the ball.
But against the wind, got to get the points.
There's a lot of time
left.
left.
Yeah, a lot of time. This is a chip shot, 23-yarder for Manuel, and that field goal is good. And Dallas has made this a 1-point game, 21-20 here on Friday Night Lights. The Simulation Football League is brought to you in part by Richards Printworks, the official shop of the SFL, by ScoreStream, official score updates app of the SFL, and by Spygoat, the sound choice. 21-20. Gladiators sway on the return up to the 31-yard line. And now it's up to Moody Mitchell to try to keep Dallas from making a comeback in the last 8 minutes.
Yeah, and if you're the Gladiators front office or coaching staff, you'd like some points out of this drive, because with, after that Denzel Diaz 22-yard touchdown run to start off this half, they have gone silent, and Dallas has scored on 2 of their 4 drives this half, so you'd really like some at least a field goal out of this drive. Mitchell
against a blitz. Mitchell got away from Maverick and then is sacked for a loss of 2 yards. An unrelentless pass rush for Dallas here tonight.
They just do not give up, and credit Mitchell. He's done a good job of getting away from the first hit. He, looks almost like a dancer on his feet sometimes, but really struggles with that second wave of attack from Dallas. And if I'm Steve Mullinex, I keep bringing it.
2nd and 12, again out of the empty, and Mitchell in trouble! Sacked again, a loss of 7.
Well, he looks like he should work at Subway, Cam, because he just got sandwiched by Rukin and Denzel, no, that's not Denzel Maverick over the top, excuse me, that's Bobby Lawless. But either way, high load there, and if you're a quarterback, that's never a good feeling.
Back-to-back sacks trying to ruin this drive for St. Louis. That is the 5th sack of the night for Dallas. It is 3rd down and 19 for St. Louis. And Mitchell, deep ball, cut! Oh! What a play to Finch! He's going to walk into the end zone for a St. Louis touchdown!
Wow, busted coverage, Cam. He had the opportunity there to really, light it up, and he was under pressure, Mitchell was. It was not the easiest throw to make, and with all the hits that he's taken on the first 2 plays of the drive, I love his moxie to stand in there and deliver this ball. And it's E.K. Vincent who drew the coverage. I don't know how that happened, but if you're Dallas, you want to fix that and fast.
Before that play from St. Louis's offense, in the second half, St. Louis had 6 yards on 16 plays.
Jeez.
Since the touchdown on the opening drive. And they just blew the doors off of Budweiser Stadium and have taken a 7-point lead. Extra point is good, and the Gladiators are back up by 8.
Still not out of reach for Dallas, though. You can't, ever look at this as like a play that's unsurmountable. It was a big play. You still have 6 minutes, and you're only down by 8, Cam. That's still 1 score, technically.
Man. And, sometimes I think when you're up 7 and you have a chance to go up 8, why not go for 2? If you're feeling good, because that's a 2-score game, and that's a huge statement. Yeah, they don't have to go for 2. You take the pressure off them a little bit if you don't make it, but if you do, huge momentum.
Especially with Dallas going against the wind.
That's right. So now Dallas, a 1-score game, Ball at the 34-yard line. Jacques Ulandula is going to have to have the drive of his life here. Oh, man, what exciting. I can't believe Mitchell stood in the pocket, hit Finch on a bomb-busted coverage. Ulandula to throw to start the drive, and his pass is incomplete, and that was a wonky-looking play downfield, and Junior's seen the third now targeted 18 times with just 9 receptions.
It's about 50%, which, you know, is not great for a receiver by any stretch of the imagination, but he's got the yardage to go behind it, 114 yards and 1 touchdown. So, you know, I guess it's one of those models where you just try and feed him enough in order to get the yardage you need to win the game.
Second down, Ulandula is 28 of 44. He has had a busy night. Sandlin with 14 carries as well. Ulandula had a man open and knocked up into the air and again nearly intercepted. Ethan Kai continues a strong night in the Gladiators secondary, and I have been so impressed with this St. Louis defense.
Yeah, Kai and Reilly on the outside have done a great job. Douglas always locks it down, and Marquise Reed has even played well tonight when they need him to. A great job by the secondary for St. Louis to really, you know, put this pressure on Dallas. Now a 3rd and long with 6.5 to go.
Ulandula has a long way. 3rd and 10, needs the 43.5-yard line. Going to throw with 4 wide. Ulandula shuffles in the pocket. Deep ball. Caught down the field. Tristan Carr. 20, 10, and a touchdown for Dallas. No way.
No way. Get your trash out and get it to the curb, and Tristan Carr, the trash man, will take it out for you all the way for 6. What a throw and catch. Look, he just shades to the opposite side of the field. The safety was coming up to cover, and so it's linebacker against tight end on a rush to the end zone. Tristan Carr may have disappeared, Cam, after his opening half, but boy, that catch will light the Lobos on fire. Now the question, you go for 2. 6.5 to play, or do you kick it?
They're going to kick it here, and they're trying to stay within a field goal, but you could do that even if you don't get the 2-point conversion. I don't know, Andy. That's pretty conservative for my book.
I think this is a go-for-it moment, because like you said, even if you don't get it, a field goal will win.
Oh, they're going to fake it! They're going to fake it! He's not going to get it! Unbelievable! I cannot believe what I'm seeing, and St. Louis will get the ball up, too! They had us all fooled. Shabazz Synergy in the ball game.
Well, talk about this, Cam. Shabazz Synergy, 5,000 yards last season, 35 touchdowns, leads Dallas in single-season records, right? They delegate him to the bench. They bring in another guy. He buys it. They go for it, and they have him run it. He doesn't throw the ball.
Unbelievable. As St. Louis now from the 11, and Swaim hit by the first man on special teams and decked at the 26-yard line. 96 viewers and counting, and Max Jackson with 100 bits says, I know what that feels like. As the fake extra point to try to tie the game goes awry. Just once, if that worked, it would be the most amazing play in league history.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But, hey, for Dallas, still plenty of time left. Like we talked about, they're still only down by 2. For St. Louis, you got to keep your foot on the gas and get points here.
Mitchell to throw down the middle. Oh, Scott, no, that was number 89, Leonardo Short, who was the intended target. And that is a bad drop.
Dangerous, too. There were a lot of defenders in the area as it bounced off his hands here. I mean, look at that. Cain Vasquez is right there. It's right in his face. Couldn't haul it in. And St. Louis lives to see another day. But, boy, was Mitchell kind of clenching there after he threw that one.
And still tonight, no turnovers. No interceptions despite all the crazy throws.
Well, there was the one. The penalty wiped it off.
That's true. We did have the one from Crash Combs, and then the penalty, the roughing the passer on Rukin threw it out. Both quarterbacks now over 300 yards passing in what has been an absolutely sensational ball game, neck and neck all the way. And Mitchell gets into a sack. Unbelievable as the pressure continues, this time from Bobby Lawless, who's flexing.
Lawless was having none of that. They can't get the interception on the play before. They get the sack on this one. He was trying to check down to Diaz, but just couldn't get away from the pressure. And now it'll bring up this third down, which is going to force a throw out of Mitchell. If you're Dallas, you just got to protect the deep. But, oh, gosh, they're going to press. This is what they got burned in.
They're playing go big or go home right now. The press works, and Mitchell is sacked. 4th and 21, another sack for Dallas. That is 7 on the night, and the sack this time is from Mitchell again.
Man, oh man, we've seen just about everything in this game. Cam, penalties wiping out turnovers, 2-point conversions, and we still got 5.5 minutes to play.
That was gutsy from Dallas, man. They did not play conservative whatsoever, and they came after Mitchell, and now punting from his own end zone. That's Zabrowski, and from the 47-yard line, Senior the third has some space to return and picks up 8 on the return. So Dallas will start at the St. Louis 39-yard line, and all they need is a field goal to win.
Well, and they're about 10 yards away from the field goal, but now the question is, Cam, are you going to the run more, or are you going to still rely on the pass? You look at Sandlin's numbers, 14 carries, 58 yards. 4.2 is the average. You could really burn some clock here if you want.
5:11 left. 3 receivers straight back. Ulundula, and he goes down. Sack for the Gladiators. That's Masters with his second.
Yeah, and Masters has been having quite the night so far. That's the second time we've called his name for a sack. And boy, has he really put the pressure on this front. And without another defensive line mate, which is something we usually don't see. Usually when there's 2, they work better than just 1.
2nd and 11, Ulundula down the field and knocked away by Colin Douglas. Intended for Osai, 3rd down.
That was the last second that Douglas jumped in and got a hand to that one, which is something we see some of the best cornerbacks in football do, Cam, is kind of bait the quarterback into thinking the receiver's open and then at the last second jump in and make the play. Douglas did that there and shows why he's one of the premier corners in the SFL.
3rd down. Empty here for Ulundula. 5 in the box for St. Louis. They come with 4. Ulundula deep down the middle of the field. Knocked away with a play. That was Afalabi on Carr down the field, and it saved Dallas, potentially taking the lead.
Star on star, and if you're St. Louis, you're kind of catching your breath there. Once you saw Carr streaking across the middle, you got to have flashbacks to what just happened. Nice job by Afalabi to get his hand to it, and because of the sack by Shane Masters, Dallas definitely has to punt this.
So they'll be trying to pin the Gladiators deep here. Chat loving that effort from Afalabi down the field. And let's see if Dallas can get a coffin corner here out of Vandenboom. It's not even going to reach the 10. Down at the 12. St. Louis has a chance to bleed some clock. 101 viewers, 4:29 to go in the 4th quarter. St. Louis has 12 first downs. Dallas with 16. The Gladiators have punted on 4 of their last 5 possessions, but that one drive, a 78-yard touchdown catch from Nick Finch, who is up to 117 yards on 5 grabs and a score. 4:29 to go in the 4th. 2 in the backfield. Dallas has 7 in the box. Hand off to Diaz. Diaz will not get away. That was an excellent open field tackle by Aquino, and he's up to 72 yards, is Denzel.
And St. Louis looks to be going with the kill the clock game plan. With 4 minutes to go, each unit has a 5-minute offense scheduled in to kind of do this exactly, kill the clock. And here it is. I mean, look at this formation, Cam. Are they going to really throw to the 2 guys on the field that are stars?
2nd down 8 at the 14. We've seen him throw out of this formation before, and that's what they're going to do. And Mitchell's going to go down the field, and that pass is knocked away by Aquino. Had an open receiver. It may have been Finch, and Aquino whacked it away. 3rd down and 8.
And that stops the clock, which is not what you want.
Exactly.
So it'll be interesting to see here what they dial up on 3rd down. I would expect a run play or an easy conversion to make sure that this clock rolls and you give the Lobos as little time as you can.
3rd down and 8 at the 14 for Mitchell. You almost have to pass here, otherwise you're conceding unless Diaz can get out in the open field. Mitchell down the middle of the field, caught, diving to the ground at the 31-yard line is Finch for the St. Louis 1st down.
Nick Finch has done everything you've asked of him tonight. The one big touchdown, that is 6th catch, and boy, is it a nice one, laying out there to haul it in, hitting the dirt when he needs to. Mitchell and him have found a connection, and it has been working. Now he is the second receiver for St. Louis that has gone over 100 yards tonight, him and Cody Scott.
3.5 to go in the fourth. 28-26. St. Louis on top of Dallas. Again, a heavy set here for Mitchell as St. Louis is staying aggressive, up 2. Neither quarterback or running back, for that matter, has a turnover tonight as Mitchell drops to throw. Mitchell a little bit off, stops the clock again as Cody Scott had to come flying into the picture to try to make the catch.
And that's what you get with a newer quarterback, whether it's a rookie or even a free agent like Dallas has seen. You're going to have some of these timing routes off. That was a comeback route for Scott, and he was not able to time it up with Mitchell well enough. And, we're still in this pivotal point where if Dallas gets the ball back, there's a lot of time.
3:13 to go. Mitchell going to throw again. And Mitchell fires down the field, caught first down. That's Scott. Scott running into Dallas territory, the 43-yard line. Mitchell's got 358 yards in his rookie debut.
Talk about putting the pressure on. Scott couldn't make the play on the last one, but he makes it there. Nice crossing route. There's not a defender within 5 yards of him. He turns upfield and gets some of that yak and is able to find his way there. Nice job by Cody Scott. Boy, are these two tight ends showing out or what, Cam?
So I'm telling you, man, Cody Scott, I mean, he is 135 yards. He leads all receivers tonight in receiving. He has been unbelievable.
By a yard. Finch is right there.
And Finch is right there, but man, and Moody Mitchell, talk about having trust in a rookie and a number 1 pick.
Yeah.
They're just letting him go to town tonight as they're now starting to milk some clock. Hand off to Diaz. Diaz gets around. Got a block.
Oh, what a
Denzel
block.
Diaz is going to go for a St. Louis touchdown.
His third all-purpose touchdown, but the block on the edge sealed it, Cam. Look at this right here, this block on the safety. Oh, not getting around me. And Diaz is able to use his speed to get into the end zone. Impeccable run.
I'm changing it. That was the ever-scroll block of the game because that was too good not to be the ever-scroll block of the game. As St. Louis now, because Dallas went for 2, can make it a 2-score game. So that fake extra point now looms very large for the Lobos. As the extra point for St. Louis is good, and the Gladiators, for the first time tonight, lead by 2 scores. It's the first time any team is led by 2 scores.
9-point lead, and I still can't fault Dallas. The only thing I fault them for, Cam, is doing the fake. Why not line your offense up, your best players who are good at catching the ball? Because you and I talked about the two-point conversion wasn't necessarily not expected. It's not like you did it with 10 minutes to go in the third. You did it in the fourth when you were down by 2.
Honestly, I mean, when you think about it, I mean, we really weren't expecting a fake at all because you think, well, if they kick the extra point, it's understandable. There's a lot of time left on the clock.
Right.
They tried to pull a fast one on St. Louis. It didn't work. It backfired, and now it's put Ulandula in a situation. Does have all 3 timeouts in the 2-minute warning, and tonight I would not put anything past Dallas from doing something crazy.
You got to watch Junior Senior the third and now Tristan Carr after that big touchdown. Those are the 2 guys you're going to want to get loose if you're Jock Luyandula.
Carr's got 2 touchdowns tonight, and Osai gets the flip out. That's his 10th catch. Senior the third and Tristan Carr have combined for 12 catches. Look at that. That's amazing. You want to talk, everybody says in the touchdown to interception ratio is crazy. Well, what about that one right there?
3-0. We'll talk about, not even that, but talk about changing your franchise for the better, going out to get a quarterback who can lead your team.
That's right.
Both of these teams did it in the offseason, whether it be by way of draft or free agency, and both of them are paying off in the first game tonight.
2:19 left. Clock is stopped, but now moving. Ulandula, where is he? Why? Why to the fullback in the flat just prior to the 2-minute warning? That's not a good read. Ulandula now 30 of 50, and it's 3rd and 6.
Still down by 9, 3rd and 6. It's 4-down territory in my opinion, so even if you can't pick up the first down, you really got to get some yards here and try and stop the clock.
2:15 left. What a ball game. Dallas trying to come back from down 9 and over the middle. Good effort by Sandlin, but they're going to have to go for it on 4th down. That's going to get to the 2-minute warning. The Quip 2-minute warning here on the SFL Network on Twitch, presented by APM Music. Visit quip.com for more information. Go ahead, Andy, on what you were going to say.
I was going to say, I would have gone no huddle there. You called 2 plays in the huddle prior, considering that Osai got out of bounds, but you got to get up to the line and keep that from going to the 2-minute warning, because with all 3 timeouts, this is your drive. You got to score on this drive, otherwise you're done for.
2 minutes to go, 35-26, 4th down and 1, and they go empty out of the gun here with 4 receivers. Ulundula gets the blitz, fires wide open. Pass caught. St. Louis stays aggressive, and it burns them there to midfield.
Yeah, now they're caught in this no huddle where you might not have time to call a new play.
Ulundula against a 4-man rush. Hit as he threw, and way overshot Tristan Carr. He just had to get rid of that one. Masters all over him.
It does stop the clock, too, which is good for Dallas, but great job by the front 4 of St. Louis. When you can get a rush with only 4, you're doing things right.
1:44 left. Friday Night Lights here on the Simulation Football League on Twitch, and it has been a track meet between these 2 quarterbacks. 2nd down and 10. Ulundula, the former Shark, trying to get things done here in Dallas. And Ulundula just got it away to Carr.
Nice.
Caught at the 19-yard line. Timeout, Dallas.
Interesting that they chose to use the timeout there instead of trying to get up to the line, because now with only 2, it's going to come down to the onside, even if they get into the end zone here. But a great catch by Carr on the deep ball nonetheless. Working on Marquise Reed there. Reed just leads with the wrong hand. If he would have led with the inside hand, he would have been able to bat that away, but he led with the outside, and the ball slipped through.
So Dallas probably thinking that too much time would get burned with everybody running up to the line after that long completion, is at the St. Louis 19-yard line. They need 2 scores in the next 98 seconds. 5 receivers for Ulundula as everybody is spread out wide, and Ulundula floats one up. A jump ball is incomplete, looking for Mason Kirby, who has not been targeted all night, and Gunnar Remington in the slot makes a critical play. And what a sneaky play down the field to loft one up to Kirby there.
Yeah, first time we've called his name
crazy
tonight. Yeah, and I'm surprised because he's one of those guys who, when you have 3 receivers and a tight end, you can get loose in the middle of the field because he's drawing that coverage from some of the players who aren't getting paid as much. But, not in that situation.
1:34 to go. Ulundula got to get it away. Caught by Junior Singer the third. Down to the 3, down to the 2-yard line. They're running no huddle. What a ball. 1:22 left. Ulundula quickly to the line. Going to throw. Can't take a sack. Can't do that. Oh, man. Almost iced the game. Really has got to take that back.
And Drew really would have been a legend in St. Louis lore forever if he would have picked that off and taken it back. Oh, my gosh. You got to catch that.
Jumped it and everything. Would have been a 98-yard return. Look at it.
Oh, perfect execution. Just didn't make the catch. Someone in the chat I just saw asked if people still play this online. Well, we're online right now and we're playing it, man. Join in. Get on the Discord.
And yes, to answer the question. 2nd and goal at the 2. Oh, man. Dallas down 9. Still hope. 2 timeouts left. Ulundula out of the shotgun. Gonna throw. Pressure quickly, floats one up and hit Osai in the leg. And it's 3rd and goal. It went right through his hands. It may have been deflected.
Great job by Colin Douglas in coverage to stick with his man, but an even better job, Ulundula, to get out of the sack which was coming there, get away from the pressure and still loft the throw up. 3rd and goal. You're in 4-down territory here, Cam, no doubt.
3rd and goal at the 2. Unless they want to kick the field goal to make it a 1-score game.
They can fake it again if they want.
I don't know. Ulundula needs a touchdown. Did not get a touchdown. A quick throw looking for Carr. I say kick the field goal, Andy. You have to recover an onside kick anyway. You might as well get it now.
My thought process is go for the touchdown. If you can't get it, your game's over. You don't have to put all the effort into the other play. It's a long season, Cam. 11 more games here. This is the first one. But, you do make a good
Or they could
point.
fake it again.
Yeah, there's still time. There's still time.
That's crazy. This is Manuel to make it a one-score game, a 19-yard chip shot field goal. They will need to recover the onside kick because they only have 2 timeouts left. The field goal is up and good for Dallas, and it's 35-29, and it comes down to this.
Yeah, and you talk about Cam, that fake field goal looms so large now that it would only be 31-35. 30-35. Think about it. It looms large. It would have changed the game, but here's the onside.
Here we go. Dallas needs an onside recovery to keep themselves alive. Bouncing ball, winding ball, and a flag at the end of it. Now, what's that going to be? That could be a late hit, but recovered by Gunnar Remington, who's had a fantastic fourth quarter. And they are going to get Dallas for a late hit, and that's just a slap in the face right there.
He was a little late, but I thought the ball might have still been on the ground.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. That was a really nice onside kick right at the 40-yard line as we get another look at it.
Yeah, kind of misdirected, and they're going to call that on Will Bates. He actually didn't even hit the ball carrier, but a nice play, and this one's not over, to be honest.
But it's a critical penalty because it puts them in field goal range.
Right.
How can you make that call at this stage of the game? That is just crazy, as St. Louis will start to take knees, and I'm pretty sure that Dallas will have at least some time left on the clock.
But the question is, if they hit this field goal, they're against the wind. If they hit this field goal, will they be down by too much to even attempt to go for the end zone? It'll come down to the wind and the kick.
And I'm not sure, now that I'm looking at it, that they'll really... they'll run the third down play with, so there will be about 25 seconds left.
There will be a little time.
So St. Louis is going to try to bring the kicker out. That's the veteran Graham Northrup to put the lead back up to 9. And again, going back to strategy, Andy, because if Dallas went for it, St. Louis could not put the game away with a field goal. But instead, they went for the field goal, and now St. Louis has the potential to put it out of reach. Just crazy. I mean, that's why we love the sport, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, hindsight's 20/20, but my goodness.
Well, and you can even go back to Dallas's decision to take the ball in the first quarter, or the first half instead of the second, because that first drive from St. Louis was that 22-yard touchdown run from Diaz. If you wipe that off the board and start the game with your field goal, this could be a whole new ball game.
Dallas has no timeouts. St. Louis is going to punt and risk losing the game on a touchdown because Dallas is going to get the ball with about 20 seconds left.
Ramos in the chat is saying he would punt.
There's a lot of people that are saying they would punt. This is strategy extreme here in the last 3 minutes. And I don't know who's going to come out on top here as Dallas is going to get...
Maybe they take the delay a game.
They're going to get one last shot here. They run it all the way down to 25 seconds. The punt, can they get a good one? It's going to bounce at the 3 and hop into the end zone. So now with 17 seconds to go, Dallas could win the ball game with a touchdown and an extra point.
I'd camp, man. I swear, Luyendula, this is, for these two young quarterbacks, for the young quarterback Mitchell and then obviously the new quarterback Luyendula, this is how you cement your legacy, is in games like this when you have the opportunity to put your name on top. They're not done here. Watch Carr, watch Senior the Third.
4 receivers for Ulandula. Remember, they have no timeouts, so any throw to the middle of the field and the tackle is critical. Ulandula, deep ball down the middle of the field. It's incomplete. Ooh. That would have put it at the 40.
That would have ended the game. He was in bounds.
I think so, with 13 seconds left.
Well, and in hindsight, Reed's doing the right thing by knocking the ball down, but with 13 seconds left.
Make the tackle.
With 13 seconds left, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, because if something happens, you'll go back to that play and you'll say that he should have just let him catch it.
Boy, if they sent Osai on a go route right now, it might explode Colin Douglas's mind here, because he's been going out routes all game. Second down and 10 for Ulandula. He's got to be careful with this. Got to be careful with this, and Osai is going to get out of bounds with 9 seconds left.
You would have called it, because Douglas came on the blitz, and Osai would have been free with the safety.
Exactly.
And that was the perfect storm for Luyendula. It was just the wrong route by Osai.
God, got a hot route out of that. I mean, got to get out of that.
Well, how do you know Douglas is blitzing? He's got such a poker face on the outside.
Those eyes just should have taken off, man.
Have you ever looked in Collins' eyes? You never can read what that guy wants.
9 seconds to go for Ulandula to try to win the ball game. He's got to get out of bounds. That's a terrible play, and they're not going to get up to the line, and the ball game is over. And St. Louis is going to hold on in a classic here on Friday Night Lights in the opening week of the SFL season.
Well, hats off to St. Louis and hats off to the number 1 pick, Moody Mitchell, who does a great job of leading the Gladiators over Dallas. Look at his stats, 21 completions for 357 yards. Does an incredible job along with 2 receivers going over 130 yards. And Cody Scott leads all receivers in catch yards with 135.
That's great. 135 for a tight end. When was the last time a tight end had 135 yards?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you, but what was the last time we had 2 tight ends in one game catch over 100 yards apiece? I don't know if that's ever been done.
Man.
Because you had Carr with 125 and 2 touchdowns on his own.
Oh, let's collectively catch our breath here. St. Louis, who gets the win. They've been very good early in the seasons where they've struggled us down the stretch.
Right.
But the Gladiators won this game in a very different way than they have won games in previous seasons. They were, for lack of a better term, they were balls to the wall. They came out, were aggressive all night long, and it paid off for them. This is a Gladiators team like we've never seen. And shout out to Ethan Kai, who, for as heavy or as little as he had on an impact of this game, because obviously he's a new coach, so we don't exactly know, what his footprint is. But either way, what a performance by a rookie head coach. It's not often those end in victories, and he had a stellar performance.
Well, a rookie head coach with a rookie quarterback nonetheless. So,
yeah.
It's almost a situation like Baker Mayfield and Freddie Kitchens where they just say, we got what we got, and this is the team we got. Let's go get it. And they, like you said, Cam, just put everything on the line on all the plays. And, a lot of times you worry then about interceptions or throwing the ball to the defense, but both quarterbacks stayed clean. So a really nice job by this unit for the Gladiators.
Dallas will host Tulsa next week on Monday night, the 14th. St. Louis will host Oklahoma City Sunday night, the 13th. As the player of the game, Moody Mitchell, 21 of 39, 358 yards, 3 touchdowns, a 110.8 quarterback ranking, the number 1 pick in the draft, gets player of the game in his first game. Final thoughts, Andy?
I think it's well-deserved by St. Louis, and if Dallas would have won, it would have been well-deserved by them. Both teams really played lights out, which is something we often don't see in the SFL. Sometimes there's teams who just take games away. This one was absolutely incredible, and boy, it was an honor to be here calling it with you.
Tomorrow afternoon, don't sleep on that time. 1 p.m. kickoff, Oklahoma City takes on Tulsa. Well, for all of us in the Simulation Football League, Jeremy Vega on stats, Andy Hamilton, my analyst, I'm Cameron Irvine. What a fantastic night of SFL action. 2 nights in a row. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Good night.
Night.